Hi and welcome to Federal Bank Let's Talk. TOONZ is South Asia's most admired animation studio. It has an impressive worldwide client list with names such as BBC, Cartoon Network, Disney. Here we are at the TOONZ campus in Technopark, and with me, the CEO of TOONZ, Mr. P.JAYAKUMAR. Let's talk. TOONZ is a flag bearer of the Indian animation industry.
Yes.
You have made us proud by putting Kerala on the global animation map. But in simple terms, so that laymen like me understand, what is it that actually happens on the floor of your state-of-the-art studio here in Technopark?
Right. We basically give life to characters. That is, in a simple statement, that is what we do. When people see a cartoon film, they normally don't realize how labor-intensive this process is. If you are producing a 90-minute feature film, normally around 450 to 500 people, basically work together on this project. It's a very, very collaborative film process where each and every scene will be done by different artists. So the communication between these artists are extremely key for the whole process.
You were talking about your workforce. You said 400
Yes.
to 500 people work on one single project.
Yes.
How do you manage such a creative group?
I think it is, that's a very, very good question,
Thank you.
I mean, especially, I have a finance background, and how an accountant or a finance guy basically responds. We expect very sophisticated behavior from people, right? So when I basically moved my career from government, I was the finance officer in Water Authority. And when I actually joined here, initial years were very tough. But I think, over a period of time, I really accustomed to their behavior. And I believe I have changed myself in a way that I understand their feelings and I understand their behavioral pattern.
And you are able to bring out the best in them.
Yes, and I think at the end of the day, there is a small section of people who basically see this as a job. But a vast majority of the staff members are very passionate about it. I have engineers, mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, electrical engineers working in our field. They are, some of the best in their field. So they are here, and I have doctors here, right, who are very interested in this creative field. And when people are passionate about it, they definitely add an additional dimension to whatever product they bring out.
Right. In our part of the country, how many people really know about the scope of visual creativity as a career option?
When we started this studio, we hired around 30-40 people from various parts of the country as animators, and we brought them here. And our first client was Cartoon Network Hong Kong, and we started the project. And within 15 days, we realized that the people we hired don't have the skill sets to produce an international quality, kind of production. So what we have done is, and we realized that the problem is, it is not basically about the talent of people. And I can, now 13 years of in this field, I can very proudly say that our talent is probably one of the best in the world. Okay, so we have no problem with regard to the talent and the fundamentals. The real problem is the exposure. Okay, they don't have an international exposure. If you really look at US, where the animation films are very, very successful, they produce $200-300 million worth of films and make $1 billion worth of revenues out of it. Okay, it's a very, very matured market, but it has a 60-year history of animation. When it really comes to India, it's a very, kind of probably a 10-year history.
A nascent.
It's a very, very nascent stage. So they don't have that exposure. So what we have done is, we brought in people from US, Australia, Korea, Philippines, a lot of Filipinos. And at some point in time, from between 1999 and 2002, we had around 50 expatriate staff working at our facility, which is like a bomb from a financing point of view,
Right.
because you are burning millions of dollars. All these people are in dollar salaries in your payroll, and you are an outsourcing hub where the fundamental business is
Cost effectiveness.
Yeah, correct. Leveraging your cost benefit, thing. Then those 2-3 years we were basically burning money. Okay, but I think 12-13 years back, when I really look back, I think that is the strategy which really made the presence of TOONZ felt in the international marketplace, because the people who are fundamentally strong but they don't have the exposure were able to train under these masters. And that exposure has, really made them.
And you have an academy now, TOONZ
Yes.
Academy.
That is also an interesting genesis of the academy. But in 2001, 2002, suddenly there was a big hype about animation all over India. So studios started mushrooming in various parts of the country. And for all of the new studios, TOONZ is the perfect poaching ground.
Okay.
Because, anybody can get
Yeah,
very
well
qualified
trained,
manpower from here. So we lost a lot of people and we felt the pinch. So we realized that two issues. One is we need our own feeder. We need to make sure that we get the
Have a source.
right kind of people. Second is, we also realized that there is a big problem. Why people are poaching from TOONZ? Because there is really a big gap between the demand and supply. The people are in high demand, supply is very less. So we decided to start the academy. And academy is in its 8th year. It's doing great. In 2004, West Bengal government asked us to set up a shop in West Bengal, where the government has put up all the investments. We have gone there. It was a total virgin market. There was no animation training facilities. There was no animation studios. We gone there. We established the facility. Even today, that's probably one of the biggest self-sustained animation academy in the country.
You started off as an animation
Outsourcing
center.
Yes.
And you have moved to being a end-to-end provider of animation services.
Correct.
And that in a span of 12 years.
Correct.
And that is a huge success story.
Correct.
So will you share with us the key highlights
Sure.
on that journey?
Sure. Two absolutes in this business is, one is communication and second is creativity. So because there is a problem in communication, we still have an edge.
upper hand, yeah.
Have an edge. But Eastern European countries now are posing a major threat. So one, it is a fundamental realization that if you just be in the service business, you will not be able to compete with the world. Okay, because we are not competing with another Indian studio. We are competing with a Chinese studio. We are competing with an Indonesian studio. We are competing with a Taiwanese studio. So unless you become very competitive, the margins are less, and also this is not a brick and mortar operation, right? The eyes of the directors are very subjective.
Right.
Something I can see and I say, wow, you can say, no, it's not good.
Right.
It really very whims and fancies of the director.
You need to touch the heart of your
Correct.
audience.
Plus the director, and from us, our point of view, our clients' technical and creative qualities are determined by the director. So if you have a kind of a tough director, your margins are gone.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So you are already making a loss. Okay. So the margins are very less. So we need to really find a way to be alive in this business. That's number one. Number two, let's take Tom and Jerry as an example. It produced 40-50 years back. It's still watched.
We have people glued to the sets.
Correct, and loved by it, right? Animation has a big advantage over live films, which is a longer shelf life.
Right.
Okay, because
the characters don't grow old.
Correct. It can, and it also build up a lot of value. Lion King, which was produced at a very small amount of money, it's a $3 billion franchise today. So if you are lucky, okay, you need to be, and this is again in financial terms, I would say a portfolio approach. You produce 10 films.
Don't put all your eggs in one
basket. You produce 10 films, probably you have a 4 miss and 3-4 will be average, but you will have 2 hits.
How is it that you choose your stories?
Yes. I think we have 2 basic streams of products. One is international products, which is the bread and butter of our business. and two is Indian projects. International projects is easy. Basically, what we do is we also, because we are in India, our sensitivities are slightly different from that of international audience. We always partner with, very high-profile partners, internationally. By associating with this kind of very high-profile content partners across the globe over a period of time, now we also know what works and what doesn't work. But still we do that, number one. Number two, we also basically look at certain brands. For example, we have produced a TV series called Wolverine and X-Men, which came out of Marvel Comics. Marvel Comics, they produce Spider-Man, right? So these are brands, you take risk which never, cheat you. The cost-wise, this is a total difference. If you produce a half an hour live show, how much you spent? 50,000, 5 lakhs, probably 10 lakhs. You produce half an hour animation, minimum is 50 lakhs. You produce an international show, 1.5 crore or plus.
It's big money that
this big money we are talking about. So if you spend, let us say the Wolverine and X-Men, the money we spend is $10.4 million. In today's value, it is 55 crore. It's as good as 10 movies, right? So it's a TV series I'm talking about. So when you put this kind of money at risk, you just need to really make sure that you are covering the downside risk. So that is what we do. We go after brands. We recently produced a film which was written by the second world's biggest author called R.L. Stein. We produced a movie called Mostly Ghostly, and which was picked up by Disney Channel US, which is a live movie. So we basically, go after events or characters or books or, comic characters, which is, kind of widely known, so that we are not taking undue risk because we are investing our own money. I think, my family is a good family. My wife is Bindu. I need to succeed for their benefit. I need to succeed for the common benefit of the company. Two kids, Anant and Abhinant, both are at Christ Nagar School.